excited. I'm excited.
We're not doing a dance intro, dude.
Anyways, shut the music off. How you doing, man?
All right. How are you?
Hanging in there, man. It's a Monday. You know, everyone hates it.
Just we're drinking coffee and not beer.
Yeah. For a change, we decided not to do any alcoholic beverage for the next 30 days because we're just cool like that. Just kidding.
I didn't say 30 days. Just till we stop recording, then the beer will come in.
Afterwards, yeah. The creative process will only get better with the alcohol. But yeah, man. How was your day? What did you get yourself into?
Well, the markets were kind of crappy today.
Your job? So for a lot of people that don't know, probably already know, he is a full-time day trader. For now, right? And he's
I lose all my money
till we start all over again. So I didn't know this. You told me that you were going to be doing this, and all of a sudden, 2 months into it, I'm like, yeah. So when are you quitting your job and you're actually doing this? And you're like, what the heck, dude? I've been doing it for 2 months. So a lot of people are very interested in that. I think every time we get together in a group, it just seems like you're always somewhere in the background having a conversation about stocks with somebody, and they're typically very interested because the stock market is like it's a fucking animal, and a lot of people think you can get rich quick, and a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions. So how did you? I mean I know, but let some of our audience know. How did you get started in this actually?
It's something I've always been interested in. I mean, since I remember back in like junior high when we did the little math stock market little project. And since then, but no, I mean, I've been reading up on them like at a serious level for over 10 years for sure. And it's not easy for anyone who thinks they're gonna make a bunch of money. Nah, it doesn't work like that. You definitely need discipline and among other factors that are necessary to make it. But no, like today, since October, the market's been kind of heading down. It was in a steady uprise for a while, and then since like mid-October or so, it's been going down. So it's now technically in a correction state, meaning like up to I think like 20% or so once it hits past 20% when it hits bear market, which means who knows when it'll stop going down.
Right.
But right now I think it's correction, so it's definitely over 10% correction. I can't remember where it's at right now, but I know that like the Dow closed lower than it has in the past 2 months since the high back a couple months ago. So it's definitely a roller coaster, but it's still exciting. I still like it.
Yeah, man. I think it's one of those things to where when I start hearing people talk about the stock market, I just kind of and they're not invested or anything like that, or I can kind of tell they're talking off their ass. I kind of just want to tell them shut the fuck up. Like you have a perception of this thing as if it's a get rich kind of scheme, and everyone sees the movies out there, the Wolf of Wall Street for those, the drugs and the partying and the sex and the hoes and bitches and all that stuff, and they don't realize that this thing is people have killed themselves. People have committed suicide because of the stock market.
Because they lost everything.
Because they've lost everything. Some people have gained everything and have lost it really fast.
Well, the thing in psychology, dude, is that they calculate how like your happiness level, like the same amount of happiness, like what makes you happy. If it goes the opposite way, that same amount, like the grief and the pain that you go through, it's significantly more felt as a human than the highs. So the lows, even if they're about the same, like equivalent wise, like something happened that's kind of equivalent to something good, but talking about something bad, then you feel a lot more, just because obviously when you lose $1, dude, from your pocket, falls off of your pocket, you're like, dude, where the hell did my dollar go? And then it ruins your day, right?
Yeah.
So
kind of.
So compared to like you find $1, oh, I found $1, cool. But if you lose $1, it's like, God damn it, you're looking for it everywhere, especially if you need it.
But if you find $1,
yeah,
you're not that happy.
No, you're still happy, but it's not that same, like amplitude of pain and happiness. It's felt more. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Obviously, actually, as a matter of fact, speaking about losing money and dollar, I know we're supposed to talk a little
Weren't
bit
you at a
about
casino?
Yeah, I do a little gambling every once in a while, but not to the extent of some of my friends. Some of my friends, they win big, but they also lose bigger. So that is one of the things, and I've seen them be extremely happy, and it's not a pleasant car ride home with a couple of these guys, and I love them to death, obviously, but I see their bullshit, and yeah, man, I can definitely tell how.
Bullshit, though.
Yeah, I can definitely tell people get excited, but certain people when in gambling, because this is still kind of along the line of stock market, I guess. I mean, if you
You
want
could
to say
compare it in a way,
Yeah.
but there's definitely a lot
So-
of differences.
Some of my friends or just people in general, when they win, they kind of walk around like, yeah, I was supposed to do that. I was supposed to win. Come on, like I'm the man. Check it out. You know what I mean? But when they lose, it fucks with your head a little bit, and you can tell they're thinking. The eyes are there, but the wheels are turning in the back, and you can talk to them, and they're just either worried about how they're gonna make a payment that following week or so or
That's why you don't bet your rent money on that.
Hey man, you know what?
You don't bet your money at a casino. You don't bet your money, or bet your money in the stock market either. That's also a known secret.
There was a time where we were gambling at one of the local casinos, and I'm very my strategy is if $100. I usually give myself a limit of $100. If I lose it, I just know that was $100 worth of entertainment that I was willing to give, and I cut myself there. Now, if I make more, somebody paid me to sit there and talk shit and have a good time, because that's really what I do, right? But this particular time, this lady, she was like, man, this is my light bill, and I'm like, man, you got an addiction there, girl. Slow your roll.
No, but then like one of the differences between the markets and a casino is that definitely a casino is for entertainment unless you have a problem, of course. but the markets, I mean, there are people that approach it from that kind of like entertainment, get rich quick, and they'll blow up their money. But if you're serious about it, I mean, it's not you need discipline, and it's actually a little bit more boring than it seems, because there's all these other factors that you need to watch out for. And one of them is that you can't get too excited, because then that takes over, and then that's how people lose money. So yeah, you definitely need discipline. You need to understand what you're doing. You need to understand a little bit of a little bit of math, and risk management. And one of the biggest things is investor. They call it investor behavior or behavioral finance. It has different meanings, but it's just understanding the psychology of investing, which ties up to just regular psychology. Because we all have all these emotions that if we allow them to take over, then that's when you're not really thinking straight, and that's when you make stupid decisions in the stock market. I mean, in casino, again, it's entertainment. But in the stock market, if you can't control your emotions, and if you're not calm and disciplined in that sense, yeah, dude, that's how you lose money. And I think most people don't understand that. They just jump in thinking that oh yeah, I'm gonna make a bunch of money on Apple.
So what are I've been here for those 10 years of you doing that, and even like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, you were thinking about doing it full time and stuff, but now in retrospect, do you think at that time where you wanted to do it, you think you would have it would have been as where you're at now, as far as making a little bit of money now? You're obviously staying afloat, and you're not under the bridge yet.
That's a key word. No, it's something you continue to learn. It's back then I don't think I had the capital and maybe the knowledge, but definitely in retrospect, no. Even now, I kind of question myself sometimes. But
the voices talk to you.
Yeah, little devil.
What are they saying? What do they say sometimes?
Like, dude, go look for another job.
Get that 9 to 5
I
in.
think McDonald's was hiring the.
Listen, man, there's no shame in working at McDonald's. A guy with a college degree, you know what? If I had to do it, I'd do it. But let's not get there. I think you're smart enough. Obviously, you figure it
Well,
out. We'll
it has
figure
nothing
it
to do
out.
with smarts, though. It's definitely not about smarts because there are
Okay.
people who are dumber than I am, people who are smarter than I am, and the smarter people definitely lose money, and the dumber people can definitely make money. So again, it comes down to discipline and just understanding a few things and sticking to them. But it's kind of like anything else. It's just persistence and not giving up. Because if you lose a bunch of money, you're gonna give up. It's discouraging.
Right.
But you need to learn from what made you lose that money. Because if you don't, then that's when you're going to continue repeating the same mistakes. So it's definitely a learning. There's definitely a learning curve that comes with it.
A little bit of luck.
Well, luck. It's initially what if you're going to make money initially when you don't know anything. That's when luck plays in. But if you're consistently making money, then it's not necessarily luck. It's more discipline at that point.
Yeah, definitely. You know what?
Because you can definitely choose a stock right now, and then you get lucky and it starts going up, and you didn't know anything about that stock, but it's just it's going to continue going up. Like Apple's been going down since they reported last time, because their sales on iPhones are going down. So now, if you bought at that point, then yeah, you're definitely losing money. But if you bought, let's say a couple years ago, it was going up since, or since back then. So again, it comes down to just understanding a few not simple, but a few rules about what makes the stock market go up and down.
Yeah, from my experience, don't try it, guys. I'm serious. I think you have to have a knack for it. You have to have yeah, you can learn basics and stuff, but I think at the bottom of at the bottom of it, it's really kind of like a gut instinct. When to pull the trigger, like you've said it before. Sometimes it's you've
No, there's definitely that gut instinct before, and there's some intuition that it's based on experience. At the end, after you gain some experience, it kind of becomes intuitive in a sense that you kind of get a feeling because of the prices. The price, when you start to observe a stock long enough, you start to see when it's going to start going the other way because you see a different behavior in the movement. So I mean that's technical analysis, but just going back to the stock market, or like you said, don't try it. I definitely think everyone should be in the markets just
in
because
one way or another.
No, but long term.
Yes, of course.
I mean, if you don't understand what you're doing, and you definitely don't want to be trading stocks, but
there's other ways to do it.
Long term investment always makes
So-
that's how people create wealth over a long period of time.
So check this out. For someone who kind of finds out that you do this, obviously they're like, "What the heck?" They see you as like, "Damn, this guy has some
Like
big
Gordon
balls."
Gekko, but
But nah, I'm just not there, yet. But
they're starting to sag a little, so
oh, Arturo,
I'm getting old, bro.
Happens to
Anyway,
all of
so
us.
anyway,
Yeah. So back to where we're talking about. I think what first and foremost, when people find out that you are in the market and you do it like you do it, right? What are the first kind of either expressions or
I think I'm
remarks?
rich.
They think you're rich. Is that right?
Well, I think a lot of people have that misconception that someone trades or understands the stock market enough, even if they're not making money, they still think like, oh, this guy, he must be making all kinds of money, and yeah, that's not always the.
It could be though. I remember you telling me about this one guy who I think made like $40,000 off a trade or something. And you were like, man, this is possible. This is possible. And that stuff obviously is there. And yeah, these people do it for, they've been doing it for a long time, and they probably caught their well at that point. But for you, what would you advise to people if they're intrigued, maybe something to read? What do you think they should read? A couple books, and if they don't want to do the just buying and selling individual stocks, what's a good way for somebody to kind of get into it? I mean, I know, but I want to, you
First of all, I'm not a financial advisor,
not,
so
exactly.
I can't, like, no one should
Yeah.
take any of what I say,
No.
you know, as, you know.
That's not what we're trying to do here.
Nah.
Just based off.
But just like a general rule
Yeah,
of thumb,
we're not
it's,
telling
you know,
people,
like,
yeah.
when you don't know, you definitely, when you don't understand anything, you definitely want to educate yourself,
Right.
just on anything, whether it's the stock market or anything else. You're not gonna just jump in. You know, you're not gonna start cooking something if you never, you know, touched or turn on a stove, right? So you definitely
Give a damn. Put me in the kitchen.
Besides you. No, but like anyone else, you kind of want to understand the basics, you know, the fundamentals first. And yeah, definitely, if you understand the fundamentals of money, how money works and all that, you definitely already have an advantage. I definitely also think that they should be teaching that in high school, and that, you know, but anyway, that's a different story. But no, for someone who is interested in investing, I think the simplest, most like best advice would just to open an index fund, or a what's the other one called, a retirement fund,
Which I have. You know.
and then just put, you know, just add to it on, you know, a monthly basis or whatever, a small amount you decide to add, and then just let it grow over time. That's probably, you know, the most general advice that you'll get, and I definitely agree with that. Because if you don't understand how stocks work, you don't want to jump into it and blindly, because yeah, you can definitely make money if you get lucky.
No, absolutely. I think,
but you most likely are going to lose money.
Yeah, one of the things I think with the way things are going, just you know, with the economy and retirement, all that stuff, it's not going to get any easier. I mean, that's just something this is just our opinion, my opinion. It's not going to get any easier. So, you know, you younger guys that are out there, ourselves, we can do something about that right now, because we have something that's called time. We have time. However, if we waste this time and we're in our 40s and 50s where you can still do things there, it's going to be a little harder. So that's just something, again, we're not financial advisors and I'm not claiming to be, but do something for yourself and at least do that. Do that, because Social Security, that's kind of laughable. It's what the hell is the Social Security? I don't really know what it is, and I mean, I know what it is, but
you just know that they take a portion of it from your paycheck,
right? And obviously, it's something that, does it even work? Is it working? I mean, we're not economists or anything like that. Or again,
well, the way Social Security works is that, you know, they're taking the current taxpayers' money, or, you know, people are putting money into the Social Security system to pay the ones that are retired. The problem is that, you know, it's not sustainable long term, and that's where, you know,
it's the ultimate pyramid scheme. Look at that. Smart, aren't they?
Dude, there's a lot of pyramid schemes all over the place, and we don't really, not necessarily.
Life is a pyramid scheme.
I'm getting too philosophical, dude.
Yeah, I know.
No, but yeah. Anyway, dude. I mean, but the thing with the markets though is that it's all psychology. Going back to, you know, the thing about psychology and human behavior. When you're looking at a chart going up and down, and then, you know, you start learning about moving averages and like all these different things that act as supports and resistance levels in the market for a stock that's going, you know, a certain way, it's all psychology, because those charts are based on the past, obviously, but investors who are looking at that, you know, it's reflecting the way they think as a whole. You know, and once you start to understand that, you know, if you get yourself, if you read up on that, you know, behavioral finance, that'll give you a better, or an advantage of understanding how the markets work. Because, again, we are emotional, and when there's some news that, you know, Trump tweeted something stupid about the markets, like trade or whatever, the markets go down, right, or up, whatever. But sometimes there's no reason for them to go up or down, but we're emotional. Investors are emotional just like everyone else, so we react to things like that. So again, it's all emotions. You just need to understand that aspect of the markets, and you'll definitely have a better, you know, grip of it.
Let a good thing keep rolling, right? But they don't. People don't, right? It's all.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like on a day-to-day, that's what makes the markets move up and down, right? Long term, according to history, like just looking at history from stock market history, it's steadily going up. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
right, yeah.
So for someone who's young, like if you're 18, you get your first job. Some advice would definitely be to start, putting some money in there slowly over time, and by the time
You retire.
you're
hopefully.
retired, understanding compounding, how compounding works, you're definitely gonna be a millionaire.
And you're gonna
And-
have to be a millionaire if you're gonna want to.
And it's not necessarily hard. The hard part is starting, and a lot of people, like you're saying earlier, you think you're young, you're not paying attention to that. You're splurging your money on whatever you're splurging.
You want to look cool, dude. Let me buy the gold chains. Let me buy
yeah.
the new clothes. Let me just be cool, man.
Yeah, so I
Be
mean,
cool.
and if that's what you want to do, that's go ahead. But you
No,
should also save some money, yeah.
No, absolutely. I think that's that. And then just the way jobs are going as well. I think, what the hell is a pension? Remember those things, man? Those things, people had them.
Yeah.
You know, I worked for a company that right before I started working for them, they had to close out a pension, right? Just paid out a bunch of people. Obviously, these guys they got a lot of money, right? Just, especially the ones that have been there for 20, 25 years, 30 years. They got paid. And then, but that was something that I've never heard of, and especially us young people, we're stuck with the mentality of our parents. Hey, get that good job with the good retirement, because we think we're going to stay in that job for 40 years. Surprise, we're not.
I don't even think any one of us really.
There's still people out there, believe it or not, man. Trust me, they still have that mentality because that's kind of what their parents are telling them or taught them. So they're kind of wired in that way, thinking that way. But then we get into the real world, and next thing you know, 3 years out of college, I'm already in 4 jobs, right? So,
Dude, that is true.
So
Several.
So that's what I'm saying, though. It's one of the things that we can't. You got to take it upon yourself now, right? And just do a little reading for your financial health in the future. I tell people, man, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the heck's going to happen. Just do it for yourself.
Of course.
Do it
if
for
you
yourself.
don't expect help from anyone else, because I kind of doubt most of us will get it,
Hey,
especially the government.
You know how us Latinos, we grow up in large families. At least my parents did, right? Our parents did. They grew up in larger families that was their retirement, and hoping that when kids
Well, that's
grow
still
up,
the plan in some other cultures,
Yeah,
like other
absolutely.
countries.
absolutely. But here in America, not so much. First and foremost, if you have 10, 11 kids, damn, that's a lot of food right there.
Not definitely.
Where are you gonna put them? Where are you gonna put all these little bastards at? In a room?
You're gonna try to do your best, but then at the end of the day, you're gonna end up in an old folks home anyway.
Exactly. So that's just kind of what that is. But yeah, at the end of the day, just take care of yourself. Actually, I'm just thinking about it right now because it's been on my mind all day. Baby, it's cold outside. That song?
By who?
I don't even know. Who is that guy?
Isn't it Ray Charles?
Ray
Are you talking? No, wait.
The Baby, It's Cold Outside. It's...
Oh, no.
Who's it by? It's by... What's his
Just-
name?
Play it on YouTube or something.
Yeah, let me see. I got it. But, dude, so I heard this last week. They're starting to trip a little bit as far as playing it in these radio stations. A lot of radio stations are like, nah, we're putting an axe on this.
Are you talking about like the whole snowflake?
These
these
guys, these people, right? Because
yeah,
it promotes rape culture.
Don't get me started with that crap.
Let's see. Here we go. Who's this guy?
I think it was Ray Charles.
It's by, is it really? Who's the original?
Because
Dean Martin?
Was it Dean Martin?
Is that who it is?
I don't know. But it's kind of like a duo, right?
Yeah.
The
You know
song?
how they're going back and forth. She's getting cold. She's got to leave, but he does it. I mean, let's be honest, guys. All of us, and this is where I start, getting my bearings going. We've all tried to do something to try to keep whatever situation going a little longer when it comes to a female. And if you haven't, you're a lying sack of shit. And I will call you on your bullshit. I've done it. I'm not gonna say you've done it, but I'll do it. In hopes that maybe it goes a little bit further. So this song, he's not trying to let her go, making all these excuses, right? So the radio apparently it's like, oh, we can't be talking about that. It's rape culture. So this little radio station somewhere in Kentucky apparently didn't give a fuck, and they played it on a loop for 2 hours straight, just to kind of make a point. And I'm kind of happy. I'm kind of happy they did that. Good for you guys.
Because the song, he's trying to keep her in, and obviously, he wants her to stay there, right? And she's trying to get out. She's like wants a little extra time with her.
Yeah, he wants a little extra time.
But then I think there's like a specific phrase that like everyone's tripping about too. Like, look up the lyrics real quick.
Yeah, let me look up the lyrics. So it's actually right here, and I guess it starts by like, I really can't stay. I gotta go away. This evening has been so very nice. My mother will start to worry. My father will be pacing the floor. So really, I'd better scurry. Well, maybe just half a drink more. So I guess
Michael Bublé sang it.
Well, he did too. And we love Michael Bublé. Bublé.
Bubble.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but dude, come on, dude. That song's from what, the 30s or something?
Yeah, that's
so
from
like
back
it's
in
an
the
old
day.
ass song. I mean, it was a different time. It's a classic to some extent. It's an old song that really you're gonna start doing that with everything. Yet, what do all the rap songs talk about these days?
Smacking bitches.
And the hoes and
the hoes and stuff.
No, yeah, dude, it's kind of stupid, man. It's getting out of control. I don't have time for the stupid political correctness crap.
That's something that, you and I get mad at, kind of upset at the end of the day is, I guess, listen, this is our perspective. This is how we see things. There's probably somebody that's like, no, this is, obviously there is. That's why they're putting these things out. And I think certain radio stations, because they don't want to be controversial. They don't want to, they don't want to piss people off. And they're going to take it off. They're going to remove it. And they're going to do the politically correct thing based on this. But then you have guys like us starting with a camera, starting recording, and we don't care. We're going to talk about it. And sometimes, again, it's going to piss a couple people off, but that's okay. And at the end of the day, that is just your point of view. Obviously, the media is going with it, and the people, and they're turning it down. But then there's these little cool ass little guys out somewhere in Kentucky who didn't care and did the complete opposite and looped it for 2 hours. And I'm pretty sure the listeners loved it to a certain point.
No, yeah, dude.
I get it.
Yeah, it's getting out of hand. This whole political correct. You can't say all kinds of things. Come on. Like, if you keep going that way, you're not be able to say anything. So you really, if you value your freedom of speech, the First Amendment, you can't possibly be pushing this. And that's what I don't understand about like these bigger like media and institutions that are pushing that. Because
Baby, it's cold outside.
But it's just gonna get to that point. So I just want to slap some of these people sometimes.
Slapping some people. You know what? That's probably gonna.
I think it was Ray Charles that sang it, dude.
Ray Charles?
I think he was, like because I remember hearing like it was one of those icons from back in the day. I think it was Charles, but.
Man, Ray Charles, man. Speaking about him, now that we're here, man, that dude he's probably flipping on his grave right now, thinking like, what? You know what I mean? With his little high-paced voice and stuff. What do you mean I can't sing this? Get over here, girl. Tell him it's cold outside. So.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I mean, well, you can start taking Mad Men off the like Netflix too because
they took that off.
No, I don't know. I'm just saying. You're gonna start that road. Like, you're gonna be able to. You're gonna have to do that with the majority of things because there's always something that offends someone and something that's against women or which is a lot of the time is BS. But
pretty soon we're gonna be staring at the computer with just the Google search engine, and we're just gonna be like. There, like that one Vice episode where they're smart people. Look at them. They're working on projects and all the
North Korea.
Yeah, North Korea, and all of the screens. That was freaky. All of the screens are like in Google, and they're just kind of like they're like. But yeah, so we just had a little bit of a technical difficulty, but we're getting better. Like I said, it's a moving experience, and we're gonna get better. We're gonna dial it in. But anyway, so just kind of wrap it up a little bit right now. Over the weekend, I did want to tell this story because I just thought it was pretty cool, and it kind of did something to me as far as like positive. So I go to this car show, bike show. We're pulling up. We're amazing cars, Cadillacs, Chevys, old Chevys, the whole lowrider kind of thing, custom cars, right? So we're walking, and we come across this one car. It's purple, and we're like, okay, we take kind of more of a we take a little bit more time on it, and there's a lady back there, sitting in the back with her son. And me, I'm pretty curious, so I'm gonna find out whose car it is. So I ask her, is her car? Yeah, it's her car. Make a long story short, she tells me the story behind the car. So basically, this lady, probably in her 50s, took a car that she was getting ready to scrap it. So I think they were charging her a couple $1,000s or something like that to scrap it. So she was in the middle of scrapping the car, or was going to, or something like that, to where she got a heart attack. She had a heart attack.
Right there?
Not in the middle of scrapping the car, man. Like, oh, I gotta give it. No, but no. Ended up with a heart attack in the hospital, right? Short after, fell in a pretty big funk, depression hole. And her son just kind of motivated her to do something with the car. Don't get rid of it. You're at home. You can't do much. Right. You're retired. Just don't dwell in that. So finally, he got her to at least spend 5 to 10 minutes a day, and she did. She spent 5-10 minutes a day. Started doing the little thing, to where the car, she did everything on the car. Bags, tucked from the engine to the paint. The paint, for someone, she literally was at home, depressed. She started taking classes. She went to like somewhere up north. Some guy out of his garage was teaching a class on how to do paint. She took the paint class. She did the, like, how to correct on the, it was a 65 Impala, how to correct the dents and stuff. She learned how to do all that stuff from the inside, the leather, the trunk. Well, actually, she was working on the trunk as of now. Yeah, man. So she made this car. It's a beautiful car. I'll probably post a photo of it on my Instagram. But the story. Obviously she was very depressed, and we all go through that kind of stuff, right? And we feel in a funk, but it's a story that she motivated me to be like, man, I don't have to wait to almost die to start doing something. And check this out. I asked her how long she worked on it. She said about 1.5 years every day for about 1.5 years. She said except for 1 month, because she got another heart attack, and that put her out, right? So she stopped working on it.
It's not funny, but
it's not funny at all. She stopped working on it, but she said she couldn't wait to get back. She was itching, and that somehow speeded up her recovery to get back. And she was in a wheelchair trying to do things, and now obviously she drives it and all that good stuff. But again, just to kind of end this, I think we only get to do this life once, and we get to do it. And a lot of us go without doing anything significant because we're caught up with everything. This lady almost died, and she realized that after the fact. So stop wasting time and actually do something. Get up and feel alive for a second. I know a lot of us, it is hard to do that, but for this lady, it helped her get out of a funk situation. Being that we're all sad and depressed nowadays, I get it. The world is sad, and I will admit it's a sad world, but not everything is, and we can do certain things to get us out of that kind of funk.
No, yeah. So this relates to Baby It's Cold Outside. How?
This relates to Baby It's Cold Outside is, and he could have gone into the 65 Impala and drove away. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with you, though. I mean, yeah, sometimes we need motivation, but a lot of people don't even bother to figure out how, And yeah, definitely, I do believe we need to take advantage of this life and
don't
enjoy
wait till
it
a heart attack hits you and you're paralyzed from one side of your face and you can't do certain things.
Well, the thing is that once you get a heart attack or a significant, you go through some significant health issue like that, then it kind of also damages you. Like you get a heart attack, you're not the same afterwards either. You need to be a lot more careful. So
memory loss. That's a
Right.
big one. Dang, that's crazy. Memory loss. Like, that's one of the saddest things, I think, to forget.
That's kind of what makes you you. All your memories.
That's the only thing we have at the end of the day. When we're about to check out, we can hopefully sit back and reflect. And we did a couple cool things throughout our lifetime because we only get 80 to 90 years, maybe if we're lucky, here. And that's it.
Unless you get to a point that you upload your brain to
all this AI
cyborg
stuff, which, who knows, man.
That's crazy, dude.
It's getting weird out there.
We'll talk about that some other time. But
yeah, it's getting weird, huh? So yeah, don't waste any time. Tell somebody you love them. I love you.
Thank you.
So,
all right, we'll wrap it up here.
So, then
next
again,
time we'll figure it out.
Yeah, sounds good. Alrighty, guys. Till next time.